What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I have another Dell laptop to go over for you guys. This guy is a Dell Latitude E7470, and I rescued this from an e-waste recycler along with a few other computers, which I will be making videos about in the future, so make sure you're subscribed. But long story short, my friend Chris and I went to this e-waste facility around my area, and they actually resell most of the e-waste that they take in, and came from there. We picked it up, and it was actually in a bin with probably about 20 or 25 of these at least, and this was one of the best condition ones that I sifted through. So I decided to pick it up. I got it for 120 bucks, and it was untested at the time. I didn't know if it worked. Of course, we couldn't really test anything, like I said, so that's why I got it on the cheaper side. But as you can see, it's actually in pretty decent shape. It was quite dirty along with all the other rest of the computers that I got, but after a nice alcohol wipe down, you can see this thing is actually in pretty decent shape. There's not a whole lot of dings or dents on it. And flipping it over, it's more or less the same story. Of course, there is a little more wear on the bottom, but it's the bottom, so who cares? And then the sides, of course, are not dented up or anything like that. I guess to start, we'll go ahead and go around the machine. It is mostly, I believe this is metal, but it's probably magnesium because this is a very light computer. But, it's very similar to like an E7240, which is a smaller one, but same general design and build quality and all that stuff, which it's not bad. It's pretty thin. It's a little bit thicker than my 14-inch MacBook Pro is, and this is a Skylake based machine, so this thing is 5 years old now, so still fairly usable. If we go around the laptop, you can see in the front we have nothing at all except for some status LEDs right here, and then I believe these are the speakers here. Then moving over to the side, you can see we have a smart card slot because this is a business grade laptop. We have a heatsink vent, and I believe that is a Kensington lock port. Going around the back, we have the 20-volt Dell power port. We have two USB 3.0 ports. Moving over here, I believe this is mini DisplayPort. I believe that's the DisplayPort logo there. We have HDMI, gigabit Ethernet, and then moving towards the side, this is actually a SIM card slot because this thing is wireless WAN capable, although this specific one does not have the card installed. And then that we have a powered USB port here, so while the laptop is off, if you have it enabled in the BIOS, you can actually charge a device with this. And a lot of other Dell laptops have that too. We have an SD card slot with an SD blank in it currently. Focus, there you go. And a headphone jack. So that is pretty much it for the port selection on this thing. Going on the bottom, I already showed you that, but we have our dock port here and some ventilation. And of course an old Windows 8 sticker, which is worn away. Now, before I flip it over, I'm going to actually take the bottom cover off and show you the guts. Alright, so now that the bottom cover is off of this laptop, we can see the inside. You might notice the battery is missing, and that is because the battery that was in the machine decided to do a spicy pillow, so it's expanding. No good. I do need to get rid of this. But so there is no battery, but that's not a big deal. I really don't have any plans to actually use this thing for any specific purpose. I have my rugged Latitude for my outdoor duties, but anyhow, so there is no battery in here, so it is a little bit lighter than it should be. And when I got it, there was no RAM or an SSD in it. Now, I had to go and buy some, but it cost me another $80, but I ended up purchasing a WD Blue 250 gig M.2 SSD, as you can see right there. Now it was also missing the screw for the SSD, so it is not screwed in, but when you put the bottom cover on, it does seem to hold it just fine, so that's not a huge deal. And there was no RAM as well, so I went ahead and bought an 8GB DDR4 SODIMM for it. I believe it does support up to 16 gigs, but again, I'm not going to use this laptop for anything really, so I just wanted it to be functional. And then if we look over here, there is our Wi-Fi card, or that may be Bluetooth as well. And then we have our 3G, or I guess LTE modem slot right there. And that's about it. There's really nothing else to say. Of course, there is the CPU there. It is a Core i7 Skylake-based processor, but I will go ahead and put the bottom cover back on, and we'll open the laptop up. Alright, she's back together, so let's go ahead and pop her open and take a look at that, if we can here. Go ahead and open her up. So as you can see, it's in pretty good shape. This was one of the best ones that was there. A lot of the other ones had a lot of scratches and like worn touchpads and stuff, but this one's actually in pretty good condition. There's our 14-inch screen. It is actually 1080p resolution, so that's pretty nice compared to my rugged Latitude, which has a really crappy display on it. There's the keyboard, not too much wear to speak of, not too bad, and then we have our Latitude E7470 branding there, but like I said, the keys are in good shape. Not too bad. We have a power button up there at the top, and we also do have the legendary track point, so it's kind of nice. And then our touchpad there, which, as you can see, doesn't have a ton of wear. There is our Core i7 sticker there, and that's about all there is to speak of. Now I will go ahead and plug it in, and we will go ahead and turn it on. I'm really glad that this thing ended up working, because like I said, there was no way to test that before I bought it, so kind of took a little bit of a risk. But, you know, it worked out, so happy for that. Let's go ahead and turn it on. Get this wire out of here a little bit. It does have a backlit keyboard as well. I don't think I mentioned that, but that is nice to have as well. I really do like these newer Latitudes. Like, the design of them is actually pretty nice. Even the cheaper ones are pretty cool. Now, you can see how fast that booted. That was pretty cool, but this was a really good opportunity for me to try Windows 11 because I've never tried it. I don't really have too many Windows computers anymore. I'm kind of a Mac guy, and well, I do have Windows computers, but they're all really old. So this was a good candidate for me to try Windows 11 on. Now let me go ahead and enter my password real quick. There you go. And it runs really quickly, actually. It runs pretty darn fast on Windows 11, so that's pretty nice. But let's go ahead and focus in on the screen a little bit. Now it is 1080p, so things are pretty small, but it is a nice resolution, so pretty happy about that. I'll go ahead and turn the brightness down a little bit. That way the camera will even out. There you go. That's a little better. Now we can go in here to our system properties. Take a look at that. Although we can also go into the specy settings there, but let's take a look at this first. So we got a Core i7-6600U. That's pretty nice. 8 gigs of RAM, like I said. And Windows 11 Pro. Let's go ahead and back out into specy so we can get a little bit more nitty-gritty than that. Really small. Alright, let's fix that. Yeah, okay. So let's zoom in a bit more. Like we said, i7-6600U, that is a Skylake chip, 8 gigs of RAM. We've got obviously a Dell motherboard because it is a Dell computer, the 1080p display, and the Intel HD Graphics 520 that's built into the processor. And you can also see we have our WD 250 gig SSD there, which is a M2 PCI Express, by the way, so that's kind of nice. So I just finished actually setting this thing up this morning, so there's really nothing on it, but I just wanted to kind of give you guys a quick demo, and I'm not really going to run any software on it because there isn't any. This is going to be a pretty short video, but that's okay. So that said, there she is, guys, my new Dell Latitude. I have no idea what I'm going to use this thing for. Probably nothing, but you know, I couldn't pass it up. It was one of the nicer computers I saw in that e-waste facility. Definitely stay tuned. There's going to be more videos. I picked up 3 more Apple PowerBooks and an iMac G3, so we will be taking a look at those as soon as I can get, you know, hard drives and power adapters and stuff for them. The iMac G3 is actually up and running, but it's not quite finished yet. But like I said, stay tuned. Those videos will be coming. But for now, that is this Dell Latitude E7470. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.